The woman once hailed as the future of the monarchy has disappeared from public life. No official explanation beyond a couple of perfunctory statements. No clear timetable for her return. Not even a brief reassurance that everything is fine. Catherine, Princess of Wales, whom everyone knew for her poise, her dedication to royal duties, and her genuine smile, has effectively vanished from the royal spotlight. And, strangely enough, the palace is saying very little, which only amplifies the sense of mystery. The question on everyone's mind: what in the world is going on behind those gilded palace doors? Is this merely a private medical recovery, or is the monarchy hiding something much bigger? Let's rewind for a moment. It all started in early 2024 with a brief statement from Kensington Palace. They announced that the Princess of Wales would be undergoing abdominal surgery. The statement was short, almost clinical, emphasizing that the procedure was planned and that there was no cause for alarm. The tone was calm, routine, really. Usually, for senior members of the royal family, you might expect a bit more fanfare. Maybe a line of well-wishers outside the hospital, a wave from a balcony, or even just a photo of her leaving the hospital with a grateful smile. But there was none of that. No snapshots of Catherine post-surgery, no hospital exit briefing, no press conference giving updates about her condition or next steps. Then came an eerie silence that stretched far beyond what anyone expected. Weeks passed with no public appearances, no glimpses of her even in the background of other royal engagements. Her name disappeared from future event calendars. Some watchers noted that she wasn't even present for family gatherings, the kind of casual get-togethers where the royals usually appear on the balcony, wave at the crowd, and remind the world that they're just like us, only with crowns. But perhaps the most unusual detail was that Catherine, who had famously been very hands-on with her children, picking them up from school, dropping them off, and making sure they had a semblance of normal childhood, was suddenly nowhere to be seen doing the school run. In the past, paparazzi photos of her driving the kids had been regular tabloid fodder. Now there were none. Mother's Day in the UK came and went, and the official Kensington Palace social media accounts posted a recycled, somewhat outdated photo of Catherine with her children. Observers noticed instantly. The date stamp on that photo was old, and it was quite possibly taken many months, or even a year, before. That was the final straw for fans who started to worry. Why, in this era of smartphones and constant updates, would they use an old photo? Why not reassure the public with a fresh image or a personal message from Catherine herself? The public reaction was immediate and intense. We live in an age of 24-hour news coverage, social media speculation, and a general hunger for immediate information. For a monarchy that has tried, especially in the past decade, to appear more modern and transparent, the silence felt deafening. Why so quiet? Why so controlled? For a while, many gave them the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they were honoring Catherine's privacy as she recovered. But as the weeks rolled on, that explanation grew less satisfying. Questions began to swirl in living rooms, on talk shows, and of course, across every corner of the internet. After all, this is Catherine, one of the most visible royals in the modern age. She averaged over 100 engagements a year, championed causes ranging from early childhood education to mental health, and managed to remain a beloved figure in a family that has struggled with public perception at times. She was the shining example of a monarchy trying to stay relevant in the 21st century. And then, just like that, she was gone. Naturally, conspiracy theories rushed in to fill the vacuum. Social media platforms lit up with every possible scenario. Some claimed she was in a coma. Perhaps the surgery had gone horribly wrong, and the palace didn't want to start a global panic. Others speculated she'd had a severe mental breakdown from the pressures of royal life. Then there were theories that ventured into even darker territory. Accusations that she had stumbled upon a secret so damaging that the palace needed her out of public view. Some said it was an affair. Others hinted at something to do with the line of succession. Still others spoke of a financial scandal too big to handle. In an age when rumors can spread across the globe in seconds, it wasn't surprising that these possibilities found massive audiences almost overnight. To make matters worse, Prince William, her husband, was suddenly attending events alone. People scrutinized every frame of footage that captured him, every handshake, every forced smile, every moment of apparent distraction. He seemed tense, a little distant, and definitely not like the confident, steady presence he usually was. At a charity function in mid-2024, a reporter asked him directly, "How is Her Royal Highness?" William responded with a tight smile, "She's doing well, thank you." That was it. No further comment, no elaboration. And for a couple known for their warmth and public unity, that brief response only raised more eyebrows. Was William protecting her privacy, offering the absolute minimum so the media would back off? Or was he protecting something else, something the monarchy couldn't afford to reveal? The disappearance of a senior royal like Catherine isn't just about her personal situation. It also highlights the complex nature of an institution that thrives on visibility. The royal family, for all its centuries-old mystique, depends on public appearances and carefully curated events to maintain goodwill and relevance. When a prominent figure like Catherine withdraws so abruptly, people notice, and they wonder. Could this indicate deeper cracks in the institution itself? Looking at the broader picture, the timing couldn't be more consequential. King Charles III, having ascended the throne after Queen Elizabeth II, was still working to cement his legacy and manage a monarchy in flux. Public trust had ebbed and flowed over the years, with younger generations increasingly questioning the monarchy's role and necessity. Meanwhile, Prince Harry, across the Atlantic, was vocal about issues within the royal system, shining an unflattering light on many of its archaic practices. For a lot of people, Catherine represented the modern face of royalty, relatable, approachable, and dedicated to philanthropic causes that resonated with everyday people. Losing that symbol, even temporarily, felt like a blow to the entire institution. By the spring of 2025, a handful of clues began to trickle out. An unverified snapshot of a woman resembling Catherine leaving a London clinic was passed around on social media. Some tabloids insisted they had sources claiming she was at home, receiving specialized care and focusing on her children. But none of these crumbs of information offered any real clarity. The palace's official statements remained infrequent and vague. No major interviews, no heartfelt letters to well-wishers, just the occasional drip of secondhand information. For many, it wasn't enough. People want her back, of course. Royal fans miss her presence at official engagements, but they also want an explanation. They want to know why someone who was once so engaged with the public, so consistently visible and approachable, has pulled the ultimate disappearing act. It's a fair question. With taxpayer funding supporting many of the monarchy's functions, doesn't the public have a right to know what's happening within that institution? Historically, royal privacy has been a prickly subject. The British monarchy has never been entirely transparent. They've always sought to maintain an air of mystery, as if preserving the magic of royalness depended on not sharing too much. Yet, we're in a modern era when silence often sparks more controversy than openness. The royal family has learned that lesson the hard way on multiple occasions. Remember the fallout from Princess Diana's interviews, or the media storm over Prince Andrew's controversies. Still, it seems like old habits die hard. In Catherine's case, The secrecy is fueling every type of rumor imaginable, turning what could be a simple health narrative into something far more dramatic. Some royal commentators argue that the palace is between a rock and a hard place. If it's a serious medical condition, privacy is essential. The monarchy can't be expected to broadcast every detail of Catherine's health, but complete silence, or near silence, invites a feeding frenzy from the press and the public. What if the truth is quite mundane? A slow recovery, complications that require longer rest, or even a personal choice to retreat from the spotlight to focus on her children? Ironically, the more ordinary the explanation, the more the palace's refusal to elaborate seems to exacerbate the speculation. Meanwhile, inside the palace walls, the staff must be grappling with a communications crisis. Courtiers have always been tasked with balancing tradition and modern expectations, but this situation feels unprecedented. Catherine had become such an integral part of the monarchy's daily function, showing up to charity events, launching initiatives around mental health awareness, even championing environmental causes. She was seen as the perfect bridge between the formalities of royal protocol and the realities of 21st century social consciousness. Without her, the monarchy feels somewhat rudderless, especially in a period marked by transitions and challenges on multiple fronts. Even those who are not usually sympathetic to the royals find this scenario unsettling. For many people, Catherine represented a sense of continuity and progress. She was a young mother balancing her role as a parent with an increasing number of royal responsibilities, much as any working parent tries to balance job and family. Her authenticity appealed to people outside the usual sphere of royal watchers. Suddenly removing her from the picture, with no real explanation, sends a message that the monarchy either doesn't realize the value of that connection, or worse, has something to hide. Could politics be at play here? The monarchy sits at the center of a web of influence in the United Kingdom and beyond. Although it's mostly ceremonial these days, the royal family still exerts a quiet, soft power. Intra-family dynamics can sometimes intersect with broader national issues. There is speculation that if Catherine learned of a royal or political scandal, anything from financial wrongdoing to internal disputes about the line of succession, it might have prompted an enforced period of silence. The monarchy has, after all, weathered centuries of intrigue by carefully controlling what the public does and does not see. As time ticks on, the question becomes, what comes next? Will we ever get a moment of clarity, some definitive statement or an on-camera interview with Catherine, telling the world she's fine and just needed time to heal? Will the monarchy address the speculation directly? Or will we watch this strange chapter fade into royal history, sealed behind palace gates with all the other secrets the Windsors have guarded over the years? Let us know in the comments. Do you think the palace is hiding something bigger, or is this simply a private medical recovery they're trying to protect? The truth may yet surface, but for now, we can only watch and wait. Because in the House of Windsor, the oldest monarchy on the planet, silence often speaks louder than words.